But let's begin with that developing story out of Hong Kong right now. It looks like the sudden backdown by its pro-Beijing government will not be enough to stop days of protests. The territory's leader, Carrie has agreed to the suspension of an extradition bill that would make it easier for residents to be sent to mainland China. But opponents say their fight will not end until the legislation is scrapped altogether and the leader resigns.
Carrie step down! Carrie step down! Carrie step down!
This so-called concession just came too little, too late. Hong Kong is hurt. Everyone is hurt.
Now, anger over the controversial extradition policy has led to days of demonstrations on the streets of Hong Kong. And opponents say they will go ahead with another mass protest slated for tomorrow. We get more now in Hong Kong from our Sasha Petrusek.
Well, after a week of seeing as many as 1 million people out on the street, after seeing protests that turned violent at one point with tear gas and rubber bullets flying through the air here in this city, and after a growing list of critics who have been pressuring the chief executive here, Carrie to give up this proposed bill, church groups, business groups from abroad, local business groups, unions, many others, she has finally relented and given up this bill, at least for the time being. She says it is suspended and that after some consultation, maybe at some point it will come back. Although many people are also questioning whether, in fact, it will. This is definitely a climb down from somebody who was very adamant and dismissive of all of these marches and all of these protests. Today, she instead was saying that she had to act in this way because things were getting out of hand.
I told myself that I need to do something decisively to address two issues. How could I restore as fast as possible the calm in society? And how could I avoid any more law enforcement officers and ordinary citizens being injured?
Many here are saying that the protests will continue, that they have to continue, that these voices have to be heard because, you know, that was the only way that they got through to her the first time, and that they have to continue making their point. The protesters are saying this. Others, the legislators, the opposition legislators in the legislature here are saying something a little bit more than that because of the outrage that there's been against not only Carrie but the police for acting too harshly, and by this Beijing-backed government that's in power here.
We are angry, and we expect the government to respond to us positively. That is, to withdraw the bill for once and for all. And of course, the chief executive should be responsible for that and step down.
So, as you can hear, there are now voices saying that Carrie herself has to resign. This is a bigger crisis for this government, actually, than just simply backing down on one bill.